What is up with it? Natty Bros, back at it again. Fresh NFL season starts tomorrow. Fresh set of KBPs for the whole year and for week one. I've missed you all, and I guess let's just jump right into it. We'll plop right in here. We got some KBPs with our fresh new nattybros.com interface. I'll do season-long reveals first. So, let's jump right into it. First prediction, Derrick Henry has 20-plus rushing touchdowns as a 31-year-old. Hasn't happened since LaDainian Tomlinson almost 20 years ago. So, it would be historical from an NFL standpoint and also from a guy who's super old standpoint. So, shout-outs. Next prediction. The Chiefs missed the playoffs after making the Super Bowl 3 straight times. The demise happened. Super Bowl hangover. All the Swifties are sad. Third, Cowboys have as many or more wins than the Commanders. I made this prediction before Micah Parsons got traded, but I'll just stick with it. Whatever. Don't be a coward. Next, Cam Ward throws for more yards and touchdowns than Caleb Williams. Basically, this year's number one pick, ho-hum, Cam Ward. I think he's going to have a better season as a rookie than Caleb Williams as a sophomore with Ben Johnson. Next, Tucker Kraft has 10 touchdowns or more. He is the secret weapon. He's the straw that stirs the drink in Green Bay. He's going to be the guy. Next, Tyler Warren finishes as a top 4 tight end in fantasy. This would be 3 straight years of a rookie tight end being the number 1 finisher, or a top 4 in this case. He could be number 1, but I'll just say top 4. Next, Bryce Young outscores C.J. Stroud. Shout-outs to these draft rivals. The jury was pretty much in after the first season, saying C.J. Stroud was the king. And then C.J. Stroud kind of stumbled last year, and Bryce over the back half of last season looked really great. So I'm going to say that Bryce Young continues the momentum and outscores C.J. Stroud in fantasy this year. Next, Drake London, top 2 fantasy wide receiver. I just drafted him in Natty Bros last night, but I think he could threaten the Triple Crown this year. He could lead the league in targets, catches, yards, touchdowns. He can do it all. They don't really have much behind him, not to besmirch Darnell Mooney, but Drake London is a beast, and Penix is the man. Here's the one that I've already leaked historically, but Travis Hunter wins NFL MVP. He is a rookie. He's going to play 2 ways. The only way this happens is if he has 1,200 receiving yards and 4 interceptions, and the Jags somehow win their division or something, and it's clear that he is the rising tide kind of situation. So this one is maybe the spiciest, but just place your bets. Sam Darnold leads the Seahawks to the division title. I don't know where they are slated to finish, but I know that San Fran and the Rams are both, slated to win a lot of games. So I do think this is they might be slated to finish 3rd or something. So I think they're going to win. I think the defense is going to be amazing. And I think Sam Darnold is going to just kind of surprise everybody again, just like he did last year. Next, Malik Neighbors finishes as wide receiver 20+. I also made this before I saw how sick Jackson Dart looked. So this I regret a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Giants. I'm not sure. George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb both finish as top 10 wide receivers. This happens a lot. The Waddle, Tyreek year on the Dolphins, the Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown year on the Eagles. You frequently have 2 wide receiver teammates both finish in the top 10 on a given year. I'm going to say that group this year is Pickens and CeeDee. So get ready for some fireworks in Dallas. Next, Green Bay Packers have the best record in the NFC. Again, this was before the Micah Parsons trade too. I feel like the odds probably shifted after that trade happened. But yeah, it's just going to happen. It's Jordan Love's going to blow up, and now they have, an amazing defensive piece that helps everything. So get your Packers shares ready. Calvin Ridley is top 3 in receiving yards. This kind of dovetails with the Cam Ward throwing for more yards and touchdowns than Caleb. Calvin Ridley is the only option on that offense. Last year, in the back half of the season with Will Levis, of all people, Calvin Ridley was on pace for like 1,300 yards. If Cam Ward is even slightly more competent than Will Levis, then I think Calvin Ridley cruises to somewhere in that ballpark of receiving yards. And I think that'll be enough to get him in the top 3. CMC and Derrick Henry, 2 olds, are going to finish as the running backs 1 and 2 in either order. They could either of them could be 1 and either of them could be 2. But this is more of a bet on the 2 of them turning back the clock and defying Father Time, and they're just going to do it. They're just going to be number 1 and number 2. As we've already established, Derrick Henry's going to have 20-plus rushing touchdowns. So this is a shoo-in if that happens. Harold Fannin scores more points per game than David Njoku. This one is outlandish. David Njoku, tight end for the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco starting the season, chucking it to David Njoku. A couple years ago when Flacco won the Comeback Player of the Year, David Njoku was the tight end 1 over the last half of the season while Flacco was playing. He's super talented and super popular. Harold Fannin, I think, gets on the field and I think ends up scoring more points per game by the end of the season. Tyreek Hill finishes as wide receiver 36+. This is an implosion waiting to happen. This is Antonio Brown 2.0. He was not named a captain the other day for the first time in 5 years or something. I think this is like a powder keg just ready to blow up, and then Tyreek just doesn't do anything for the whole season. So get some Waddle action and don't bet on Tyreek. Luther Burden finishes as the top wide receiver in Chicago. It's kind of a classic, Russian roulette over there of figuring out who to draft. DJ Moore's big chillin'. You got Rome Odunze, big chillin'. Luther Burden is further down the depth chart, was just drafted this year. Famously didn't kind of live up to his potential in college. I think he figures it out, and I think that he is, the end of the season, the top wide receiver in Chicago. Marvin Mims scores 9 touchdowns or more. I think last year he had 6 in kind of part-time duty, but he, I think, is going to run as like the wide receiver 2 behind Cortland Sutton this year. I think Bo Nix is going to have a good season, and I think Marvin Mims is going to show up and just find the end zone. He is a little dinged up right now, I think a hamstring, but he'll be back, and he'll be scoring 9+ touchdowns. And finally, Tet McMillan. This one's not even that spicy, but Tet McMillan finishes as a wide receiver 1 in fantasy this year as a rookie. He also is a little dinged up, but I think he's going to start week 1. I think he's actually good. I think Bryce, as I've already established, is good. And yeah, Tet, I think, is going to show up and be the guy they drafted him to be in the top 10. So that's the whole season. Now we'll shift into week 1 bold predictions. So prediction 1 is that the Commanders will lose to the New York Football Giants. The Commies are favored by a touchdown. So even the Giants covering, I think, would be a pretty bold take, but I think the Giants are going to somehow find a way to win. Number 2, Ravens beat the Bills by 14+ points. Bills are favored by 1.5. That's on Sunday Night Football. I think the Ravens kind of stomp them and kind of stick it to them after that playoff loss. And then finally, I think J.J. McCarthy is a top 8 fantasy quarterback this week. This video has gone on for too long, but we're inside 10 minutes. I guess not after I do my outro. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the Natty Bros League. Stay vigilant out there. Stay virtuous. Stay virile, and stay virtuous. Did I say virtuous already? If not, stay virtuous again. Love everybody. Excited for a fun season together. Bye.